Thank you. Welcome to the Calvin Dean Show. This is Calvin Dean. This is my infamous 2022, yes, NFL season prediction show. I'm going to predict who's going to win the division, wins and losses, and in the NFC and the AFC, I'm going to predict all 7 teams that will make the playoffs in each division. Okay, this is fun. It's a great show, and let's just grab some popcorn, some beer, a drink, and enjoy. Oh yeah, I love that, man. Yeah, wow. What's been going on first in the NFL? Well, we have the Deshaun Watson thing, right? Suspended for 6 games from a magistrate that they agreed to, the NFL and the Players Union agreed to go through a magistrate, a mediator, all right? And she came down with a 6-game suspension. Well, the NFL doesn't think that that's enough. So there's a dilemma here. So they are going to come out this week, and they're going to tell us how many more games, is Deshaun Watson going to miss. My prediction is the whole year. That's my prediction. And they might even add an indefinite suspension. They'll give it for a year, and if something else comes up, he could be suspended sometime next year either. So they're going to leave that whole thing open. Wow, whew, that's bad news for the Cleveland Browns, because, you know, they're sitting here with a $230 million contract. Mind you, okay, they kind of counted on this, because the first year of his contract, he only gets $1 million. And then it shoots up to like $48 million the next year. So, and the Cleveland Browns right now have the most cap space in the NFL. They have $48 million in cap space. But the way they did all their contracts, their cap space is like the top 3 guys. It was like 15%, right? Well, next year, the cap space for the top 3 guys that they have on their team shoots up to like 45%. And they're going to be like a negative $17 million in cap space next year when they start next year. So, I mean, they will be maybe doing new contracts with everyone to try to keep people. But it looks like this is the year. You know, this is the year. And they'll probably be without Deshaun Watson. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Sean. I'm sorry, Cleveland Brown fans. I'm so sorry for you. So sorry. Come on. Really? What about an option? This is my option. Jimmy G has been throwing for the San Francisco 49ers. He's been going to practices, showing up, and throwing and looking really good, right? Well, I have a feeling that the Cleveland Browns, the minute this week when the NFL announces that he's going to get a whole year suspension, they're going to try to get Jimmy G, and they might pay him some good money for 1 year, and then they'll take the contract off of the San Francisco 49ers, and they'll assume it, but the only thing with that is that they might take him for a cheaper rate than $24 million, you know, because they're, like I said, they're going to be negative $17 million next year. So what are they going to do with that? You know, how are they going to proceed? They might have to redo Deshaun Watson's contract. I have no idea, but something's going on with this team. And this whole entire team, I mean, their GM, I don't get it. I don't get the owners. they don't like the Cleveland Browns owners. They just don't like them because they make stupid moves like this. $230 million guaranteed. This is not baseball. This is not baseball. Is it? Oh, my God. But, so that's what they're doing. I mean, what about Kyler Murray? $230.5 million contract. And what is Kyler doing all the way to the bank? Another GM that should be fired. I don't get that. If I'm a GM in the NFL, really, if I'm a GM in the NFL, I'm going to pretend I'm a GM. Okay, Kyler Murray's, his agent comes up to me and says, hey, we want $230 million, 70% guaranteed. What am I going to do? I'm going to do one thing. Run. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm going to be doing. There is no way I would sign that player for $230 million. $30.5 million. Excuse me, $230.5 million. That's insane for Kyler Murray. Second highest player in the NFL. Oh, my God. He's second to Aaron Rodgers, guys. Kyler Murray is making more money than Lamar Jackson. Kyler Murray is making more than Dak Prescott. Kyler Murray is making more than Josh Allen. I could go on and on. I could go all day on this. All day on this. I'm sorry. Kyler Murray fans, I'm sorry. Kyler, I hope you prove me wrong. Just please prove me wrong, Kyler. But I don't think you will. I really don't. I think that we should get into the prediction show, and we'll leave it at that. Hey, how about the Pittsburgh Steelers? I watched I watched their preseason yesterday, and I'm not a big preseason watcher. I just, I don't like seeing the second stringers, but it's interesting with Pittsburgh because they had Mitchell Trubisky and then Pickett's near the end, Kenny Pickett's, and Kyle Rudolph too. I mean, and Mitchell Trubisky looked all world, right? And then Kyle Rudolph looked great. What about that dime, the Pickett's? Pickens. And, I mean, what a catch. And he is a great wide receiver. I mean, what a good wide receiver. I like him. I like him a lot. And then Pickett's finishing out. He looked okay. They gave him some, some plays that are just, he's going to look good at, dump it off to the tight end, the first play of his career. He faked the handoff, and his RPO, faked the handoff, roll to the right, the tight end's open, throw it to the tight end. I mean, it was a boring play, and hats off to him completing his first pass, and congratulations, really, to him, Kenny Pickett's. Yeah, and it was interesting. I mean, the Buffalo Bills had the 6th round pick, was a punter, and he punted the ball 82 yards. Wow. I mean, wow. Huh. What is he? Who could he be? I mean, an alien or something? Anyway, let's get to it, guys. What about the prediction show 2022 NFL? We'll start with the NFC West. All right. Yeah. Now, the NFC West, we're looking at the Rams and the 49ers going both 11-6. That's my prediction. 11-6. Either one of them could even go 12-5. I think the 49ers look really, 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 really good. I mean, they're Deebo Samuels. They re-signed him. They have Trey Lance that's taking over the helm. So I'm excited. I'm really excited about the 49ers. Nikki's Niners going to look great this year. Going to do great. Nikki, you should be excited. I really think the Rams are going to take the division. That's just my prediction. I think both will be around 11-6. I think the Seahawks will be 5-12, and the Arizona Cardinals, with Kyler Murray's new contract, will be 5-12. And there's a reason for that. Look at Kyler's, what he did without D-Hop last year when D-Hop went down. Well, I know he has Hollywood Brown coming over from the Ravens, but I don't know, guys. I just don't see it. I just don't see it happening. I have the Rams and the 49ers going into the playoffs as well. The next division, I have the NFC South division, and it's kind of a weak division. That's just my opinion. Other than one team, I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be 12-5 this year. They're going to be the number one seat in the whole NFC. And the New Orleans Saints 8-9. They might surprise some people, but I don't think so. I really don't. They're rebuilding sort of. They're banking on Michael Thomas. Oh, come on. New Orleans they're all over. Michael Thomas is coming back. Oh my gosh. When has he played last? Michael Thomas. They're bragging about Michael Thomas coming back and being their number one receiver. I'm sorry. That is laughable. That is laughable. I don't get it. I don't get that. He hasn't played since Drew Brees like a couple of years ago. And even when he did come back and he tried to make his comeback, he looked terrible. He's so many steps slow now. And I just don't see it happening with the New Orleans Saints. I think their defense is going to keep them in a lot of the games. I think they're going to be 8-9. So and the 8 wins are going to be very low scoring games. They usually have Brady's number, the New Orleans Saints, but it's not a Sean Payton's defense any longer, so it's different. We'll see, but I think Tampa Bay is going to definitely go 12-5. The Carolina Panthers, I see them as 4-13, maybe 5-12, maybe. The Falcons 4-13, maybe 3-14. Just the Falcons look terrible. They just look terrible. So I mean, they lost Matty Ice to Indy, and they have Kyle Pitts. They did pick up Mariota. I don't know. I just don't see the Falcons winning more than 4 games. I don't see. They might even win maybe 3 games at the most. We'll see. What about the NFC North? I have the Packers, the Vikings, and the Lions doing really well. I have 3 teams in this division. This is my surprise. Guys. My surprise is the Packers, the Vikings, and the Lions. Yes, and the Lions. Making the playoffs, the Lions. Yes. And I think they're going to be 9-8. Vikings 9-8. Packers 10-7. It could be the opposite way. It could be. A lot of people are calling the Vikings to win this division this year. They lost. The thing of it is this. You have to look at the Packers, and you have to look at football, okay? They lost Vandell Scantling. Scantling, he was the flyer, okay? Every team needs a flyer that'll bring the deep safeties, all right? And then they had the actual, I think Devontae Adams is the best, one of the best receivers in the business. I really do. I highly, you wait until you see what he does in Las Vegas. It's going to be epic. But Packers, what do they have? They have Alan Lazard. Lazard had 53 catches last year. 53 to 128 Devontae Adams, right? Yeah. That's a huge. And they lost Scantling. So they don't have the deep threat. They don't have Devontae Adams. Who do they have? They have Lazard, guys. They have Doubt. He's a new kid, looking great, but he's a rookie. Who knows what's going to happen with him? I have the Packers going 10-7, Vikings 9-8, Lions 9-8, Bears 5-12. Now, the Vikings, they could go 10-7, and the Packers go 9-8. It's either or, but I have all three of those teams, Packers, Vikings, and the Lions, making the playoffs. Yes, making the playoffs. Wow. Congratulations to the Lions on that one, right? Now we have the NFC East, which is an ugly, ugly, ugly division. The Cowboys, I mean, poor Dak. I mean, he loses Coop, right? And then we have CeeDee Lamb, and now Gallup is not supposed to be back by the first or second or even third game. And they signed a contract with him, a $63 million extension with Gallup. They're all in on Gallup, and CeeDee Lamb. And CD came into camp this year looking really, really good. Really good. Put up some muscle, and look, hey, hats off to him. He's going to have just a knockout year, but think about it. Who's Dak going to throw to? Who is Dak going to throw to? I sit there and go, huh? I don't know. I don't know. And then I have the Eagles second at 7-10, the Giants 5-12, and the Commanders 3-14. Now, mind you, the Cowboys and the Eagles. A lot of people have the Eagles winning this division. Now, Jalen Hurts, he could, come alive. They have Brown, the wideout from Tennessee. They have Smith, the Heisman Trophy winner. They have Jalen Hurts. They have one of the best tight ends, Gettard. And he's great. And, I mean, they have a really good team. If they put it together, and they drafted well. So, I mean, a lot of people are saying, hey, the Eagles, they think the Eagles are going to take this division. They could. 9-8. Cowboys, 7-10. Either or. But I think the Cowboys, my prediction is the Cowboys, 9-8. That's what's going to happen. And the Cowboys are going to make the division. And let's get to the AFC. Oh, yeah. I'm going to go to the strongest division in football. And the strongest division is the AFC West. We all know that. We have the Broncos, the Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Chargers. I mean, come on, man. All four teams are just knockout winning teams. I mean, and you got to look at all this. Think about it. All four teams, what does all four teams have? They have great quarterbacks. Broncos, Wilson. Chiefs, Mahomes. Raiders, Carr. Chargers, Hebert. Right? I mean, all four teams can sling the ball. And the Chiefs are going to be hurting without Cheetah. I mean, they just are. Vandell Scantling, they're not going to take too serious going deep. They're just not. He averages 23 catches per year in the last 3 years. So I don't think that's going to happen. They have Juju. They got him. Yeah, but he's not a deep threat. So I don't, Mahomes is going to be a magician. I think Mahomes will, I think the Chiefs will go 9-8. The Broncos 10-7. Raiders 9-8. And the Chargers 8-9. Now, I'm a Los Angeles guy. I hope the Chargers prove me wrong. The Chargers could. Hey, the Raiders could win this division at 10-7. But I have the Broncos winning. But I have all three teams going into the playoffs. I have the Broncos, the Chiefs, and the Raiders going into the playoffs. Yeah. I don't have the Chargers. Don't hate me, people in Los Angeles. Just don't hate me. I'm sorry. That's just my prediction. And, they got to get a running game. I mean, it's all about being on the 1 or 2 or 3 yard line, or even when they're 4th and 1. What are they going to? What's the Chargers going to do? Think about it. What would the Broncos do? Give it to Williams or give it to their other running backs? And what would the Chiefs do? They would run the ball, right? Clyde Hilaire. And, the Raiders, Jacobs, boom. Chargers, who? Eckler? Eckler's more of a scat back. He's not a power back. Kelly came into camp bigger. He's a north to south type of runner. I don't know. I just don't. I don't see the Chargers. It's just that's what's killing me. They need that run, and if they had a running game, oh my gosh, Hebert would have a field day because I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in this division. I really do. But unfortunately, you only can have so many people win and so many losses, right? Anyway, I have the Broncos, the Chiefs, and the Raiders making the playoffs from this division. Like I said, I think it's the strongest division in the NFL. We go to the AFC South. We have the Baltimore Colts. Excuse me. It used to be the Baltimore Colts, but it's the Indianapolis Colts. Excuse me. Excuse the faux pas. And the Indianapolis Colts going 10-7, winning this division. The Titans going 9-8, the Jags going 5-12, and the Texans going 3-14. Matty Ice is going to do it. The Texans lost Brown and they lost Julio. Who are they going to throw to? Robert Woods is coming off of an ACL tear. How, where is his, health going to be at that moment in time? You know what I mean? I just don't see Robert Woods taking this team to the next level, just him, and, and then Tannehill's on a mission. They do have the big guy, Derrick Henry, pound. But I think they'll go 9-8. I mean, I think they'll miss the playoffs this year. And the Jags, like I said, 5-12, and the Texans 3-14. The next division, the AFC North, is a really tough division because it's so up in the air. Okay, the Browns 9-8, right? I have the Ravens going 13-4. The Ravens going 13-4. I think that Mr. Lamar Jackson's going to go out of his mind this year, and I think he's just going to go nuts. They're going to end up 13-4. The Bengals 10-7, and the Browns 9-8, and the Steelers 4-13. Sorry, Steelers, you could get better. You could be 8-9. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm just calling how I see it. I think they're going to be 4-13, or maybe 5-12, 5 at the most. The Browns 9-8. Now that's the thing. This is on the premise that maybe, just maybe, the Browns will get a quarterback for Deshaun Watson. Now, like a Jimmy G. Now, if they do, it's this division's totally different. If Jimmy G comes to the Browns and plays in the Browns, then my predictions are all off because the Bengals won't make the playoffs. The Browns will. I can guarantee you that. It'll be 10-7, 11-6, and the Bengals will miss the playoffs. Now, I still have the Ravens. I don't know. Something about the Ravens this year. I'm really high on the Ravens. I think they're going to go 13-4. I really do. We have the AFC East. We have the Buffalo Bills. Wow. I mean, everyone has the Buffalo Bills going into the Super Bowl and winning it all. I mean, they're that good. They are very, very, very good. This division, man, it's going to be an ugly division other than the Buffalo Bills. I really believe. I think Buffalo is going to be 14-3. I think they're only going to lose like 3 games. And the Pats are going to be 7-10. And the Dolphins 6-11. Now, it could be either or. I think the Pats could go 6-11 or 5-12. And then the Dolphins maybe going 8-9, but I'm not a big Tua believer. I don't know what's going to happen with him. I hope he proves me wrong. I I don't think he will. And I don't think the Dolphins are going to make the playoffs. And they're going to probably try to get another quarterback at the end of this year because Tua it's it. It's either make or break, and I think he's going to break. Either make or break it, and he's going to break it. I'm so sorry. So sorry, Tua. I'm sorry. You're not going to be a starting quarterback anymore. Anyway, and we have the Jets now. The Jets, Wilson just tore his MCL, terrible in preseason. It just sucks. Him and his girlfriend breaking up, and then him and his mom's friend. Anyway, well, I'm sorry. A little humor. Anyway, and Jets 3-14. Poor Jets. Poor Giants and the Jets. How would you like to live in that town? Ugh. And then the Buffalo Bills, the ones that are in New York, are 14-3. Wow. So I have the AFC, the Broncos, the Chiefs, the Raiders, the Colts, the Ravens, Bengals, and the Bills make it into the playoffs. That is 7 teams. The Bills will be the number 1 seed. It's going to be between the Bills and the Ravens for the number 1 seed. For the NFC, I have the Rams, the 49ers, the Bucks, the Packers, the Lions, and the Cowboys going into the wild card games and the playoffs and all that good stuff. But I have the Bucks being the number 1 seed at 12-5. I'm predicting the Rams going against the Bucks. I really think it's between the Rams and the Bucks and the 49ers. I just don't see. I think this will be the final year of Tom Brady. And he said he was going to play until he was 45. He's 45. I think he's going to take the Bucks to the Super Bowl this year. I really believe that. And I have the Packers, like I said, Vikings and Lions and Cowboys. So that's my prediction. I think he'll take them to the Super Bowl. And the West, believe it or not, I have the Ravens. The Ravens and the Bills. It's between them two going into the Super Bowl. But I'm going to do an upset special. I am going to do an upset special. My upset special is that the Baltimore Ravens will make the Super Bowl this year. Thank you. It's been fun, guys. It's been fun. Watch my show. Now go to YouTube, Calvin J. Dean, my YouTube channel. Subscribe. Okay. Leave a comment on the September 8th show. Leave a comment. Turn on your notifications. Subscribe. And all my comments, I'm going to put you guys in a hat name, and I'm going to pick one. And the person I pick will win $100 and a hat from NFLshop.com, a baseball cap of your favorite team. And it's going to be a fitted cap, which is amazing. Thank you so much for everyone for tuning into the Calvin Dean Show. This is my podcast, and you will have a live video stream on September 8th of my Thursday night football show. So you have a wonderful time. I'll see you September 8th.